I mean, before we really get started, a bit of a catch up. How are you both?
Good.
Yeah?
I'm going on holiday tomorrow, so I'm brilliant. I'm
Okay.
not playing it down. I'm fantastic. It's holiday time. I'm going to Portugal. I can't wait. Yeah,
Oh,
can't wait. Oh, I keep
Perfect.
looking at the pictures and I'm just like, "Oh, I'm going to be on the beach over there, sipping that cocktail over there." Yeah.
oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you've definitely earned it with your promotion.
Thank
What?
you.
What?
Yes. Oh, yes. I thought you knew. Yes. DM for the North.
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, it's like I knew, but oh, congrats, Siobhan.
Thank
That's so
you.
exciting.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
last thing you said to me, you were like, Jessica, I don't think I'm ready. And I said, You're ready.
Yeah, and I felt that way, and I think it was I just wanted to be benched for so long.
Yeah.
I just wanted to chill for a little bit and just
Yeah.
enjoy that moment of I've finally got bench. I'm
Yeah.
signed off as bench. Let me enjoy bench.
Yeah.
No, it didn't happen.
I
I was like, I tried to beat Hannah. I'd be like, Hannah, I'm gonna beat yours, and no, it didn't happen. It didn't
think
happen.
Oh,
I am the
The
longest
longest. Yeah.
longest bench that Shurgard has had. Yeah, I
yeah.
was 2 years. No one would leave. They had to make another district for me to be promoted.
I was
Oh.
like, please, no one leave so I can stay bench.
Well, and then you were benched for 2 years, but then spent 2 years being two DMs.
So I was benched for 2 years. Then I ran the Central for 2 years, Central London, where we started all the remote stores.
Yeah.
I took over from Dom for that, and then I took on the double district, which I've been doing for 18 months now. But I finally handed the Manchester district over to another district manager, so
Yeah.
I can just enjoy one and back to the day job, not part of the audit team.
All right. So for this wise episode, the theme is exploring why representation matters, the impact visible role models and mentors can have on careers, and how creating opportunities for more women benefits individuals, businesses, and the self-storage industry as a whole. So really want to discuss the responsibility that leaders have to develop future talent, and what great leadership looks like in practice. And what does that look like us making space for the next generation of not just, female or women leaders, but everyone. Tell me about your journey into self-storage.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so my journey into self-storage. So before I started self-storage, I worked for a lovely company called Ann Summers. If you don't know, it was lingerie and toys. Um, and I just feel like I just outgrew it. There wasn't not much progression for me.
Mhm.
I just wanted something different, and the hours were just a little bit
Yeah.
ridiculous, crazy. There was obviously peak times where it was summer holidays, and then you've got Valentine's Day, all those different seasons. You couldn't really take off, and I've got a child
Yeah.
that I wanted to spend more time with. I was leaving before he woke up, getting home by the time it was bed, and I was just like, what, my priorities need to change. I need to kind of have that work-life balance. So I just started putting my CV out, and I got a call from HR, Nicola, and she was asking me about it, and I was thinking, which one is this one? I'm trying to figure out who's
Yeah.
apply for? And it was Shurgard, and I was like, okay, yep. Went for the interview in Chingford, which was up the road for me. Um, and I did my half day with Sam, who was the manager there. And it was a different aspect to what I actually expected of real retail storage. I was thinking, oh, we're just going to go and sell some boxes, sit down all day. People come to us, and then we just tell them, here you go, these are the keys, off you go. So it was a bit more of operations, a bit more just being able to move about and speak to people. I love speaking to customers. I love being like front facing. And I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. So got the interview with Jason, and then kind of like spent some time with him. And then slowly he was like, what do you want to do? Tell me what your plan is. My plan was just to stay as an ASM. I'm not going to lie. I loved the hours. I was
Yeah.
happy. I've got my weekends, not much responsibility. I was just like, at the moment, I don't know. I'm happy with what I'm doing. He goes, no, it's not good enough. I'm going to make you store manager. And I was like, okay, all right, if you want to. He's like, but do you want to? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Okay, if it's opened, if it's an open discussion, like, yeah, of course I will. So then I became store manager for City Airport. Ran that for 4 months, I think, until he moved me into Chingford. And then within that time, I then became district trainer. So I was then promoted to that. And then at the time, as a district trainer, there was really no progression to go from there. And again, I was happy. Again, nothing really changed in terms of my hours, nothing really changed in terms of the responsibilities. I love what I do, so I always give 100% anyway. So I was happy to do that job. And then they were like, well, no, we're going to push you forward to DMIT. And I was like, DMIT? Yeah, why not? Like, I'm doing the job anyway. That was a bit of a journey in itself, to be honest. I was shadowing a lot of people. Hannah really took me under her wing. I had yourself, Jess. I had Danny, Zach. I shadowed as well. So I was able to learn all the different management styles, and it just made me stronger in terms of becoming a DM today. Because now I take bits of the knowledge that I picked up from all the different managers, and not to be biased or anything, but it's all down to Jason. If he didn't push me and if he didn't put my name out there and build my profile, and really he stood behind me and he was just like, no, Siobhan's doing this. Like, he spoke to so many people, they turned him down and he was like, no, I'm still going to do it, I'm still going to push for her. He really had my back in the whole way. And
Yeah.
I think if anyone I need to give where I am today, it is definitely to Jason. But then as well with that, all my DM colleagues that helped me along the way, that supported me, that pushed me, even though I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And they're like, you're great at this. You've got this. You can do it. They gave me that extra support and that encouragement. And I think, that's why I'm really happy where I am today as a DM for the North District for Shurgard. So, yeah.
Well, thanks, Siobhan. That was freaking, what a great you covered like all of the questions.
One fell swoop.
But I love it. Oh my god, you're so absolutely well spoken. Hannah, what about you? What was your journey into self-storage?
So before self-storage, I was in hospitality. And in 2020, we all know what came along and basically pretty much wiped the industry out.
Yeah.
And having been in a company for a short period of time, rather than furlough, they decided to lay some people off, which then left me wondering what I could do, because I've been in hospitality or, bingo, gambling. I didn't know what else to do, and no one in those industries was hiring because everyone was closed for COVID.
Right.
So I started to look around for jobs where I felt my skills could transfer, and I saw the advert for Shurgard and applied. And the first time I didn't get the job, Mark, you guys don't think you met Mark, he got the job. Rightly so, he had a slightly higher level of experience than I did. But someone resigned quite quickly when Mark got the position, so they re-advertised. So I was banging on Julian's door, the head of HR, and said, can I have another go? And all the feedback that I got given from the first interview from Karen and Jamie, I really took on board. So then the second time, the interview process was a lot smoother, straight through to the senior exec team. And then I came on board in October 2020 and started as the bench position, which of course we all know is the support district manager. And I absolutely loved it. And it gave me the experience to grow my skills to then become ready to take over my own district. And due to COVID, my training was different because at some points there was no customers in store, there was masks on, so then obviously you're having to try and coach without facial expressions. Or so yeah, it was a really different journey, but again, a great team around me. And I have to say, we're going to give him a big head, but Jason, I did spend the most time with him, and did learn a lot from him. We opened two stores, Barking and Bow, during the period of me working with him. And because he had the bigger East District, I spent a lot of time supporting him with the number of stores and the customer base that he had. And then we grew, and Dom got promoted. So then I took over the Central District, which was again a whole new way of working to learn, because we, from the acquisitions, bought other companies and decided to make them remotely manned, probably faster than we planned due to staff turnover, but with the location and where the stores weren't purpose built, I then almost had to learn facility side very quickly. But it was great. It was great being on the front line with the team, and we had a lot of people like Siobhan outside in other districts that could support. Then after the acquisition for Lock&Store, which we all know was a beast and definitely kept us on our toes, I was then asked to go and run Midlands and Manchester, which initially was 15 stores spread from Hertfordshire all the way up to Manchester. This due to new store openings and more acquisitions, it then went to 18. And I've literally just handed the baton over from the Manchester district to another district manager, which then takes me back down to 11 with a new opening in September, which is a lot more manageable. It was great for my development, being able to travel, being able to meet lots of different people, being part of the acquisition. I had an amazing team that I inherited from Lock&Store, where the caliber of manager supported me in how I ran that district. My district trainer that I've kept, Eugene, is just amazing. She's like a wing woman in the district. I couldn't run it without her. So yeah, now down to the smaller district, back to the day job, and just trying to drive the team even further.
So my journey into self-storage, I was in big box retail in the States. So logistics and global supply chain with Target. And so I was kind of at a point where, do I choose to go a facilities route or still kind of retail operations? And I kind of came to a point where I didn't want either. So I reached out to a previous coworker who had moved from Target to Public Storage, and went through that entire process, which was super interesting at the time. But working at Public Storage and the largest, REIT in the world now, taught me so much in the amount of years that I was there. And then a couple years later, I moved to the UK and worked at the largest REIT in Europe with Shurgard, and got to meet all of the wonderful people, you ladies included. So it was quite an interesting journey, both Public Storage and Shurgard. But I will say one of the themes that stays true is the people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's funny actually, because Siobhan, I remember your training I remember doing
Yeah.
a walk role play with you, and you,
Yeah, in
yeah,
Chingford.
yeah, we were renting out units for Anne Summers Kids, and then Jess, I remember your ride along session in, was it Alperton or Gypsy Corner?
Gypsy Corner.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Have you ever worked with a leader or a mentor who made you believe you could achieve more?
Yes. Definitely Jason, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think because he believed in me and he saw something in me, which I probably didn't see in myself. I think when you're at a stage where you're like, I'm happy where I am, I'm content, you
Yeah.
don't really look far ahead. You're just like, I'm just going to take it day by day. And that's kind of how I was. I was just
Yeah.
rolling every day. I'm happy. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But Jason was like, no, make a plan. What are you doing? Where do you want to be? And he saw something and he pushed me in that direction. So
Yeah.
if I needed anything, or if I needed to get some advice or just some extra training because I didn't understand something, he would always spend time with me. He would always say, okay, right, I'm coming today, we're going to do this today, and this is what we're going to do. Or he would put me in with someone else like Hannah or Danny or Zach and say, look, guys, can you spend some time with her? And they could have said, you know what, I'm really busy today, because I could just been a nuisance with them, just kind of sitting back because I don't know what I'm doing. But they spent that time with me. They took the time to kind of show me the ropes, and not only just kind of show me what to do, but they allowed me to be front of house as well and observe me and do it and give me the feedback that I needed to then make me stronger, and more knowledgeable as well. So yeah, it stems from Jason, but there are all other people in there as well. And yeah, I have to say
Yeah.
it's like a village.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
raised
good
in a
one.
Shurgard
That is
village.
good.
Yeah.
Love
That
that.
is a good
We
one.
are a family. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hannah, what about you? A leader, mentor, that really pushed you?
If I think about it, it probably started with Jamie Taylor. He was my direct manager when I was employed, but then it even started with Karen, Julian, and Jamie believing in me and giving me that opportunity. And then Jamie was driving me as my line manager, and then I had some support from Dom right at the very beginning when I was doing my store training, and then of course Jason when I was because I spent most of my district manager training with him. But even colleagues, Danny Church, just by talking to him every day, bouncing ideas off of him,
Yeah.
and it reaffirms that actually you can do this and you know what you're doing. And sometimes when you're in your own district, you can get a bit lost and you can get bogged down with staffing issues or customer complaints.
Right.
So then just reaching out to some different colleagues or some leaders definitely spurs you on and drives you on. And most recently, as my now line manager, Jason, with the big district, has been a big support, a big driver. Definitely some disagreements along the way.
I'm like, is Jason in the room with y'all?
I know.
Is he like...
It's like
Prompting us to say nice
he's
things.
gonna love this. Yeah, he's gonna love this. But with his support, obviously I then achieved District Manager of the Year for Europe, which apparently
It's
I don't
huge.
shout enough about, but thank you. Yeah, really proud of the achievement. And it's just validation for the work that I've put in.
Yeah.
But again, Jason, Karen, as leaders have all supported that.
Yeah.
Well deserved, to be honest. Well
Oh my
deserved.
gosh.
We
I
was
know.
all rooting for you. We would have gone to war if you didn't win.
I know. I think I did. I was like, if Hannah doesn't win, and I was like, I'm gonna burn this place down.
There's going to be a riot.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm really proud. But I think everyone in the UK team had a part to play in that, because sometimes you just want to have a vent about something, or you feel like you're the only one with that issue, and then you speak to someone else and they're having the same one, and then you just talk it through.
Yeah. Well,
I love that. Sorry, I love the fact that you said that, because sometimes you feel like a burden, don't you? Because everyone else has got so much going on, and you don't want to really sort of ask anyone for help or trying to put them down with your issues, so you kind of keep it in. But I think with our team, we're so open that we just feel like, I'm just venting to you right now. Sorry, but I'm just going to vent. And we're like, no, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
what do you need from us? Like, do you need help? Do you need me to do this for you? Do you need me to take something away and help support you? And I think I love the fact that we can just do that.
Yeah. And I definitely had the same experience. I mean, in both public storage and Shurgard, I could call any person on, a call tree or on LinkedIn or literally on email and say, hey, I see that you are really great at this. You are thriving in your metrics. What are you doing differently? Like, tell me your ways.
Yeah.
And that was never met with, oh, no, I'm not telling you. It was always met with a, welcome sense of, okay, well, tell me what you're doing and let's see if we can figure it out together. Like, every single person had always made time and, and gave you the opportunity to figure it out yourself. I've told you this before, you do such an amazing job at developing your people. And when Hannah, for the rest of the public, when Hannah is not in the room, her team lives and dies by her. And that is, I think, a true testament of a leader, where when they're out of the room and they have an opportunity to potentially say something negative, they are riding and dying for their leader. So Hannah, how do you spot potential in someone before they see it in themselves?
Always make it a point to go and listen to them on a personal level as well, so you can pull out the things that make them tick. Is it going to be something about their family? Is what's the driver for them to be at work? Why are they here? And then if I see someone wants to be more than they do, or is giving hints about wanting to do more or taking more responsibility, that's where I tend to focus my energy. I always try to look for people doing things right rather than focusing on what people are doing wrong, because then hopefully the people that are doing things that maybe not with as much effort as the others will then pull that up. So definitely a celebration, and just having a conversation with almost the whole pulling questions, have you thought about this, what's your thoughts on this? So almost making them believe it's their idea because I've seen something that they can do, and then getting them on board so they want to go for that.
1,000%. And I think, like you said, having a genuine interest in the person, and helping them develop those skills, and having an interest in them as a person, not just in the organization.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you try to, put square peg in a round hole just for your organization, that's not really about their growth. And they're not going to help push them themselves. So I do think it's the leader's responsibility to develop and create that confidence as well. And I think that is really can help make that person succeed and can change a career path significantly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I think if you take care of your team will take care of your business, because if you're taking care of them, they will then take care of their customers, which will then encourage repeat business, longer business, people staying longer term. Because if you're acting with, a certain level of empathy in what possibly will be a stressful situation, then you gain people's trust, and whether that's with your customers or with your team. And I am a big believer of giving people the opportunity to be the best that they can be, whether that's working with me or whether that's working somewhere else, because I cannot physically offer the opportunity that they want to progress in their life. For example, Dave in Albury wanted to be a district manager. We did not have that vacancy for him, so I helped him with the skills to look for that opportunity somewhere else, and introduced him to Ollie,
Yeah.
And now he's an area manager with another company, which of course is a loss to my team, but it's what, you know, it's the growth for Dave, and it means we've retained a really good person within the industry.
That's such a beautiful example. What do you guys think still needs to change to make leadership feel more accessible?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, you've kind of experienced it really, Siobhan, haven't you? Because you did a lot of work to get where you've
Yeah,
gone to.
Hmm.
I think not putting that glass ceiling up where there is no progression. And I think
Hmm.
that's where you lose a lot of good people, because as soon as they get stagnant and they're doing the same thing over and over again and there's no more progression, they leave and they look for something else somewhere else. I always feel like there should always be something created for them, like the DMIT program. That is something that should continue. It shouldn't just stop at one person, because it's such a great program that allowed me to hone in on a lot of skills and build my confidence to become a DM. And even if that means just having that person in that well, just on that program, just so they can better themselves, because I couldn't be where I am if I didn't experience what a DM does, if I didn't spend the day with them, shadow them, if I didn't step into their shoes. We can't talk about progression and say, well, you're not experienced enough, if we're not giving them the tools to do the job.
Right.
Which is why I was quite lucky, because Jason allowed me to experience a DM role, because he was like, well, I need you to elevate your working, your thinking. I need you to think like a DM. I need you to dress like a DM so you feel more empowered. And that's how I did it. And I think it should still continue. But if we're going to just stop it, then you're going to lose a lot of people, and then they're going to be disinterested. They're going to be like, well, you know, they're not going to ever do this program again, or I'm never going to be able to be
Yeah.
further ahead in my career because this is what's happening, these stumbling blocks, or this is an excuse here or there. I think it just needs to continue until we can find a position for that person, whether it be within Shurgard or still within the self-storage community.
Yeah.
Once they've got the experience and the tools to do it.
Yeah. Well, and I think leadership, I think sometimes we think about it as just our immediate supervisor. But I think that leadership, when I think back on my experience, leadership can exist between coworkers and peers as well. Um, and that's one of the things I've been so blessed in my career to have, is to be introduced to these amazing people in the storage industry. And my peers have taught me so much and have given me the time of day to answer my questions. And every single one has also cared enough to give me feedback,
Yeah.
which I think that says so much about the industry and the people in it, is caring enough to give sometimes the hard feedback, especially when, you know, it's really hard to say, hey, can you give me feedback, and seek that out. Um, so I think, I've received some really amazing, tips and tricks from peers as well, as superiors. So I
Yes.
think leadership is accessible on all planes.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's something that should be actively encouraged at whatever level of a business you're in. Because,
Yeah.
like you say, you might have a new colleague, and then that person that's training them is needs to sort of lead them into that into the role. And I think some businesses are in danger of almost stifling that, and like, well, no, you're just that position, so you're not a leader. But actually, on the day-to-day in environments, they are a leader. So we should be actively encouraging that and looking at training, development, coaching that almost starts straight away from, for example, like a junior assistant store manager for us, or, you know, a sales advisor for another company, as soon as they step through that door, we should be giving them the opportunity to look at leadership, whether that journey is 5 years or whether it's 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because Siobhan, yours was quite, your rise to DM was quite quick.
Yeah, so from ASM to, well, yeah, I've been with the company 5 years. So yeah, it feels longer, but yes, if I look back on it, it was really quick. And working from the bottom, so from ASM or junior ASM up, I've done all the steps.
Mhm.
And again, if it wasn't for the opportunity for people to see what, like, the leadership in me, the growth that I could do, and giving me the tools to be able to forward myself and become a much better leader. Because I could say everyone thinks they're a leader, and everyone can say, well, I can run a store, or I can coach a couple of people, but there is so much more behind it, and it's a lot more difficult.
Mhm.
And that's what I had to learn. I was like, oh, I could do this. This was easy. And then you're like, okay, give me a couple of stores, and you're like, oh, okay. Then put some emails on top of that, some complaints, and all these other things. You're like, oh, okay. So there's a lot more to this puzzle than
Yeah.
what it seems. And again, you guys make it look so easy. I used to be like, oh, this is all right, then I can do this. And actually then physically watching it happen, I'm like, no, there's a lot of stuff behind. There's a lot of training. There's a lot of technique that you need to learn. But you can't learn that if there's no one behind you supporting and giving you, again, that feedback or that encouragement to be able to do it. And it
Yeah.
does start from the beginning.
Yeah, you need exposure to the role to
Yeah.
fully understand it.
Yeah.
Whatever role that is as a leader, if you don't know what that leader does, how can you ever become that?
Correct.
Right. Was there a mentorship or peer relationship that influenced you other than Jason? Because we all love Jason.
We
He's
all love Jason.
fabulous.
I would, from on my journey, my peer relationship with Danny Church has probably influenced, because we've been in the company similar times. I joined in the October, he joined in the following March, and we worked quite closely together through some of his training. I have the freedom to speak to him and have an honest answer,
Yeah.
and not be made to feel like my question is silly.
Yeah.
And I think I give that back to him as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think mine's a bit different. I think I take from the East, my first team, of Chinkford. I think they really encouraged me, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to go out to stores and be able to go on visits. And they really had my back, because they kept the store running well in my absence, which allowed me to do the things that I could do. And because of that, I felt they would say, like, you know, Siobhan, you're going to be great at this. I can't wait for you to become bench DM. I can't wait to see how far you come. And I think that kind of support from my team that I'm coaching as well, trying to get them to where I am, even fellow DTs, they were really behind me. The DMs as well, Hannah, Danny, Zach, everybody that was behind me. So I think I take a bit from everybody,
Yeah.
because everyone had a piece that molded me to where I am today. I think there's a
Yeah.
bit of everybody that I've taken from and had the support, and even sat down and spoke to, and they were like, you're going to be great. You're going to do this. And yeah, so I don't think it's just one person. I think it's several people around me in my little Shurgard bubble.
Yeah. I completely agree. I feel like as a leader, I'm a mosaic of every one of my peers and leaders. Because one of the first people I met at Public Storage was John Ramsey, and he's now in facilities, but he is one of the funniest people ever. But he taught me just such a different way of thinking in regards to how I approach customers or clients, how I approach leadership, how I approach my own development, how I approach communication. And he really challenged me, not only with a drill, but also in, my confidence and putting myself out there. But then also Erica Travato. So she started out as my peer and was the only other female in, honestly, as far as the eye could see. So she started out as my peer, and then when I left Public Storage, she was my boss, and she had the absolute opposite thinking of John Ramsey. So it was really interesting to piece together. I took a little bit from John, a little bit from Erica, a little bit from Rick Pearson, a little bit from Tracy Johns, a little bit from everyone. And that is, kind of who I am as a leader today and how I approach those different perspectives. So I think it's all about who you know.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. And who you've worked with throughout your whole career, and you're like, oh, I like that bit. And I think
Yeah.
that's one thing that we try to do now as a team within the UK is, okay, we'll spend some time with this person and take the best bits of that and the best bits of that. And
Yeah.
I think as a leader, we do need to give a bit of a shout out to Karen as the UK market manager, because I had the opportunity to spend the afternoon with her at the Self Storage Association conference and watching how she presents herself and networks and how she communicates to, colleagues, suppliers. It's it was really good to watch.
Yeah.
And it makes you, it definitely made me stand back and say, okay, so the calmness and professional approach she has, I'm trying to take that on board.
Yeah. And speaking of Karen, one of the things and perspectives that I take away is anytime I'm talking about a situation with her, she says, well, how is the manager doing? And that's her first question is how are they doing? How are they feeling about, potentially this horrible situation? And it's the business was there, but was always second. But it was, how is that person feeling? And really, and it was genuine. It was so genuine. Is that person okay? Do I need to call them? How are they feeling? And I thought that was such a great way to be a leader, that she is team first. And she does live that. Not, she doesn't just say it, but she lives it.
You can see it even when she visits stores. She's never one to just sit back and ignore what's going on. If there's something happening, if a person needs help, she's the first one to go out and serve a customer.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. That my first interaction with Karen, I was on my own and was in Woolwich, and the gates broke down, and I remember just a flurry of customers just coming in, and I was like probably maybe 6 weeks in, and they were just, she just came from the back nice and calm and just was like, how can I help? And I was like, oh, you're gonna help me? Because I'm not used to seeing that. And then she just went and served customers, and we got it all sorted, and then she was like, great. And then she went back, and it was like, that is what you see in a leader. They just lead from the front. They come in and they just help. And that I always remember in my mind. Just, that's amazing. I was thinking, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen any positive changes in the industry over the years?
I mean, the positive changes is obviously the introduction of more technology just to streamline the customer journey, the online booking platform, access control, obviously, shout out to OpenTech. But they're definitely the changes. I think also as well, looking at the way as an industry we look at efficiency, and looking more at what the customer needs. So that's kind of the changes that I've seen.
No, agreed. I think with the changes that was going on within Shurgard, as since I've started the 5 years, we've had acquisitions, we've had upgrades in technology. We've now gone into digital contracts. There's clusters, all these different changes that have happened. Yes, change is hard sometimes, but then once you kind of just go with it and you get past that little blip, it's like, oh, it makes sense. It does. It works. This is the reason why it's here. And so, no, agreed. I think we've seen a lot of change, and I think it's been really good. Sometimes it works, but it's always that trial and error, isn't it? You've always got to trial something to see if it's going to work, and then adjust it to make it better. So, yeah, no, it's been.
And to Hannah's point, I think the technology adoption is huge. And I think that is a major difference between the US and what I'm seeing in the UK and mainland Europe is, tapping your phone to access your space, utilizing Bluetooth, and things like that, which honestly I didn't really think of in the States. We were always optimizing, I think, internally with technology, but here I feel like it's spread more to the customer journey. And I feel like the customer is more quick to adopt technology in the UK and Europe.
I think one of the questions I was quite interested in is how can we encourage other women to join the industry that it is quite male dominated, but definitely just from the store manager positions, I have seen other women coming forward. So it would, be interesting to get a view on how do we encourage more women to come forward, because just to have a more inclusive viewpoint on how a business runs.
Yeah. Well, and I think that is why representation matters so much, and us continuing to develop in these leadership roles. I mean, a silly example from back in the States where, this was a million years ago, but we would cut our own locks, perform our own auctions, and remove abandoned goods. So a lot of people would say, see a woman come in and say, oh, okay, well, we'll see how long you stick around after, you find something gross in a unit, et cetera, et cetera. Because it's not a glamorous industry, they kind of thought that women might be turned off by it. But I really saw it as a challenge, because I am way too stubborn to to prove anybody right. So I mean, the same thing when I cut a lock, a customer would say, I want to meet the man who cut it. I'd say, oh, it's me. So it's really challenging those stereotypes of, people in maybe a quote unquote less than glamorous role.
No, agreed. I think it's one of those, it's a role that you have to have thick skin, I think, sometimes as well. Because you're going to be face to face with customers. There is going to be some conflict management that you need to deal with, and it may not be with another female, it could be with a male, but you don't want to show that, your weakness, because men will look at us and be like, well, oh, it's just a lady, I'm just going to talk to her anyway. No, you have to have some balls about you, because you need to stand up and you need to know you're not going to talk to my team like that. You're not going to talk to me like that. I'm standing my ground. Get out. Right. And that's why I think a lot of the times when they see females like that and they're like, look at us like, what, is she for real? Is she really talking to me like that? Yeah, because you're talking down to me, and not talking down to me as a person, you're talking down to me because I'm a woman. If it was a male, because sometimes they look at the men and like, are you going to say something? No, look at me. I'm over here. It's like, I'm on the same playing field as you as well. Doesn't matter female or male. Like, I'm still a person. I'm this person here talking to you. So let's have some respect. So it is hard, and I think that's what they see when they come in. Is it can I do it? Am I going to be strong enough? Am I going to be
Mhm.
maybe too strong? So maybe I'm not feminine enough. So maybe they might think that I'm not ladylike. So it's all these different representations, I think, within ourselves as females, that we look at ourselves and say, well, do I feel nice today? Do I feel pretty today? No, because that's not the kind of job that we have. We come in, if we're not, or if we're in store, we're in our uniform and it's not very pretty. And sometimes you want to do your hair up, wear a little bit of makeup, then feel free to do that. If you want to do that, then by all means. But they see it as like you said, it's just a male dominated place where everything is stripped away and you're just there to drill and it's not glamorous. And so they expect us not to be glamorous either. We'll do more female pictures, I think. We need to advertise a bit more. Have us on the front page.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, podcasts like this where you can celebrate other women leaders or everybody in the industry to show, from the outside, it just looks like a big warehouse with lots of little rooms in. But
Right.
it's talking about, everything that goes with the job, the customer service side of it. People are in stressful situations, so then how are you supporting them through that?
Right.
How are you supporting the team with conflict and difficult conversations? But all the good things about the job as well, like you say, which is mainly the people. So definitely celebrating more the people within the industry, so then that can attract new leaders into the business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think leading with, and this is just as a person, doesn't have to be male or female, but leading with authenticity and sincerity, I think that goes so much further.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you really gain your team's trust.
Yeah.
I think with us as a UK team now, where we have got so many different personalities, different backgrounds, we can bring the best out into each other, and we can. There is humanity in the conversations that we're having within a team, within our own teams, with the customers, and that's where the trust comes along.
Yeah. Who made space for you?
Yeah, you're going to say
1,
Jason,
2, 3,
Siobhan.
Jason.
I mean, most recently, yeah, Jason as my line manager has made space for me. But, initially, again, it's hard to maybe pinpoint that one person because, Julian made space for me to have the opportunity to interview again. Jamie and Karen made space for me to entertain being interviewed and definitely gave me some feedback to then pass on. And then, the store teams made space for welcoming a new colleague, because you're coming in at a senior level into an industry that they've worked in for a lot longer than you have, and they could, they could treat you as if you're not welcome and you don't know anything and that you shouldn't be there. And I've never experienced that from the team from the very beginning to even now. And I guess that comes back again to the humanity of, we don't know everything either. So it's being honest about that.
Yeah. That's funny you say that. I asked some former public storage colleagues, and I sent them a couple of these questions, and we're all in this group text together, and by the end of it, they said, just understanding that nobody knows what they're doing. And that we're all just trying to work it out. They're like, nobody has it figured out. And if they Nicola has such a great analogy. She's like, I feel like a swan today. Like, I'm calm on top, but I am paddling heavy underneath the water.
Yeah. I agree the same as well. I think for me, who made space is the likes of Jason, but also Hannah, Danny, Zach, Karen, my district, like the East District that I worked in. Even now, I think the North as well. I've gone into a new district as a new DM, and they've made space for me to be able to grow with them and to lead them as well. And they could easily push back because they're like, would you know, like you're just coming in, but they respect my decisions, and as I respect them and I take their expectations in as well. So yeah, I think it's just everybody, to be honest, it's giving me the space.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways, doesn't it? People will create space for you and will listen to you because you will create space for them. So it is like a little community.
Yeah.
Even the industry is like a community. I think the things you see on LinkedIn, the people that you've met that I met at the conference, everybody just wants to create space for each other and celebrate each other in our industry.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Like, even seeing competitors at breakfast, I'm like, no, I'm like, sit down at the same table. Like, let's chat. We're all going through the same thing. You know, no matter what badge is on your shirt. Like, listen, we're all people in the same industry experiencing similar things. All right. Well, ladies, thank you again so much for taking the time. I know you guys are like extra busy. So thank you so much for joining. I appreciate y'all. Miss you.
Anytime. That was pretty good. I really enjoyed this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.